Hello, I'm Dave Firkin and I'm taking you for a bit of a walk. Or, to be more precise, we're going to be exploring God's own country, the great county of Yorkshire. And along the way, we'll be sampling some of the fine ales and craft beers that are brewed in this fantastic county. So come along, join me. It could be fun. We might get a bit tiddly. Now then, today we are in the civil parish of Hebden Royd, West Yorkshire, just outside the village of Cragg Vale. To the north we have the sprawling beauty of the Yorkshire Dales. To the south we have the M62 motorway. Behind me we have the border with Lancashire. And over yonder we have the combined metropolis that is Halifax, Bradford and Leeds. The village has a rich industrial history and was home to a notorious gang of counterfeiters called the Cragg Vale Coiners. And it is from here that we are going to start and end our walk today. We had planned this to be a circular walk around 4 miles long. From the village of Cragg Vale we would walk through Tenter Wood up to the Withens Clough Reservoir. We'd then walk around the reservoir and head back, heading towards Turley Hole's edge, around the edge of Hove Yard Wood, before doubling back on ourselves and heading toward the village of Cragg Vale. But things didn't go according to plan, as you'll find out. Now the Cragg Vale Coiners were a gang of counterfeiters. They were formed by a man who called himself King David Hartley back in the 1760s, and they produced fake gold coins to help supplement the small incomes they got from weaving. The whole thing came to a rather grisly end when they were betrayed by one of the gang, a chap by the name of James Broadbent. He turned King's evidence and gave details of the gang's existence to the authorities. King David Hartley was hanged just outside York in 1770. He's buried in Heptonstall, not that far from here, if you fancy a visit. Cragg Vale is located at the start of what is arguably the longest continuous gradient in England, 969 feet over 5.5 miles. There's an annual bike race up it, and in 2014 the hill formed part of the route of the Tour de France. Now of course, we're not just here to fill our lungs with the bracing air of Yorkshire, or indeed to relentlessly taunt our Lancastrian neighbours just a few miles in that direction. Oh no. Essentially, we're here for the beer, and I brought a couple along with me today that I hope you'll give a try. There's an excellent number of breweries located around West Yorkshire. There's Empire Brewing in Slaithwaite, Stodfold Brewing Company near Illingworth, the Hogshead Brewhouse in Sorby Bridge, and the Nightjar Brewing Company in Mithenroyd, to name but just 4. It kind of goes without saying, but the closer you get to Halifax, Bradford and Leeds, the more of them there are. Some of the big ones as well. Ossett Brewery, Northern Monk, Saltaire Brewery, Goose Eye. But today I'm going for a beer from a brewery, well, practically just around the corner from here, a couple of miles away. Vocation Brewery. You've probably heard of them. Doubtless you've seen their beers on the shelves at your local supermarket. And the second beer I've gone for is from the Nook Brew House, based in Holmfirth, about 20 miles from here. Might not be a name you've heard of, but they've been in the Good Beer Guide for 35 years. Now we are at the top end of Withens Clough Reservoir, so I think it's time we sampled the first beer of the day. And the first one is from Vocation Brewery. It's called Death by Cherries, a cherry sour beer. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the brewery isn't that far from here, a couple of miles away, that's all. It's a very popular name, and it's certainly very well known right across Yorkshire. Let's get this one open. Oh, ye gods! The aroma packs quite a punch. Oh, cherries, cherries everywhere. Look at the depth in colour on this beer. I'm going in for a taste. Wish me luck. Oh, Odin's beard, full to the brim with black cherries. This is a rich, sour beer with a wonderful, subtle hint of sweetness. Oh, it puckers up your insides, then hits you with the cherries. This is definitely not something I would call an easy drinker. This is not a quaffing ale. But it is something that I like to call a little bit of fun with beer. Now, this cherry sour comes skipping through the cherry orchard at a very respectable 4.5%. Not shabby at all. Now, as you are probably expecting, and in keeping with tradition, I brought along with me today a small snack, a spot of sustenance, if you will, to help me along my way. I got this from Cragg's Farm Shop. Cragg's Farm Shop is located just outside Cragg Vale, about 2 miles away, and is a family-owned butcher's and cafe. As well as a selection of fine fresh meat produce, they also offer a great range of pies, pastries, breads, cakes and puddings. Now, due to a glitch in our editing department, we've lost the clip where I show you a delicious cheese and onion savoury slice purchased from Cragg's Farm Shop. But let me assure you, it was delicious, wholesome and rather on the large side. Well, that was a very delicious cheese and onion savoury slice, full of flavours, absolutely delicious. And it was a very refreshing cherry sour beer. I'm now going to pack up, carry on with this walk. We're heading in that direction. Now, if you happen to be visiting this area with little children who obviously can't drink beer, not a problem. They can make sandcastles. Now from here, we must be roughly, 6 miles, I think, from the border with Lancashire. Ye old traditional enemy, the Red Rose, a rivalry made famous by the War of the Roses in the 15th century. A series of civil wars fought over who controlled the English throne. The House of Lancaster or the House of York. The conflict was brought to an end by a union of the two houses through marriage, at which time, I would hope, large quantities of ale was consumed in celebration. We're looking at Stoodley Pike, a 400-metre hill here in the South Pennines. You can just make out the Stoodley Pike Monument, a 37-metre construction designed in 1854 by an architect called John Green. It was completed in 1856 at the end of the Crimean War, and replaced an earlier structure commemorating the defeat of Napoleon and the surrender of Paris. The War of the Roses, the Crimean War, the defeat of Napoleon. There's a rather unpleasant theme developing on this walk. I think we need to refocus on the ale. Ah yes, hello Mr. Stout, IPA, how are you? Wonderful, let's get going. The Withens Clough Reservoir was constructed in the late 19th century when a dam was built by the Morley Borough Corporation in the early 1890s, flooding the valley, once home actually to a handful of farms and other structures such as bridges. The reservoir serves the town of Morley via a 20-mile pipeline. Right then, well, we are now at the bottom end of Withens Clough Reservoir. Methinks it's time for another beer. And our second of the day is from the Nook Brewhouse in Holmfirth. It's simply called Red, and it's a red ale. The brewery has been serving the people of Holmfirth and beyond for over 50 years. And like I said earlier, it's been in the Good Beer Guide now for over 35 years. Let's get this one open. Well, it's certainly red. Look at the colour on that. It has a slight caramelly aroma. Good head. There's a caramelly toffee flavour. Nutty, malty, and with a hoppy bitterness to the finish. It's very good. I imagine this would be a cracking ale on cask. Now this red ale from the Nook Brewhouse comes paddling across the reservoir at a rather respectable 4.5%. Not shabby at all. Now we've hit a bit of a snag with the walk. The pathway leading down to Cragg Vale is closed due to a landslip. So we're going to have to find an alternative route. Now when it comes to traditional drinking establishments, West Yorkshire doesn't let us down. There's an abundance of pubs in the local area. We've got the Shoulder of Mutton in Mithenroyd, the Alma Inn in Lum, we've got the Church Style Inn in Sorby, and we've got the Hinchcliffe Arms in Cragg Vale. And it was that particular delightful den of deliciousness that I had been hoping to go to today during our walk. But my researcher has just found out the place is closed for the entire day. What with the closure of the pathway to Cragg Vale and the closed Hinchcliffe Arms, something's telling me it wasn't meant to be. Bugger. Well, we're coming towards the end of our rather shortened walk today, what with the pathway being closed to Cragg Vale and the Hinchcliffe Arms being closed. But it's been good fun. It's a very beautiful spot, well worth the visit. The beers were great. The cherry sour, wow. Genuinely a little bit of fun with beer. And the red ale was delicious. Details on all of that coming up. But in the meantime, from me, cheery bye.